He says he is committed to come to Washington as often as necessary to save his life. Como pueden observar detrás de mí, unas cientos de personas a la espera de poder ejercer su opinión en el plebiscito. It is with activities like this when the boys can get together and learn to work as a family. How am I doing here? Good? An expert says that doing yoga with goats like Cain and Abel right here is actually very beneficial for you. El presidente Donald Trump dijo que obtener la aprobación de la reforma de la ley de atención médica que propuso su partido será muy complicado. Before we talk about it, I want to tell you that if you're planning for a barbecue this weekend, that's going to be very difficult because it's going to be rainy.
Heart of a champion. From the inside out, I believe, fight, love, and work with all my heart. I will fear no one. I respect everyone.
In the H.W. Smith, this is a well-known chant.
Fight the fight, I'll finish the race, I'll keep the faith.
It is what the boys that take part of the Building Men program recite every day as a reminder of their goal.
But I believe a man is a sir, which means they have significance, integrity, and responsibility.
Building Men started in 2006 in Levy Middle School and now has expanded to 7 schools in the city of Syracuse. Joe Haram runs the program.
If you ask guys what the Building Men program is about, they'll tell you it's about relationships. It's trying to value and build relationships with our friends, with authority.
It is with activities like this when the boys can get together and learn to work as a family. How am I doing here? Good?
Mr. Haran, he takes us on a lot of field trips, and they teach us a lot of life lessons. We've gone to homeless shelters and helped out.
And for many of these boys, this has really made a difference.
It really opened my eyes. Most people believe to be a man you have to beat somebody up, but that's not true.
The rooms are filled with yellow, blue, and red. The Marvin Center is the designated polling station for Venezuelans in Washington, D.C.
Hacia allá para votar.
Standing in line for hours to reject President Maduro's policies and his proposal to change the constitution. Judith Puros is from Caracas.
The government has managed to minimize all the problems we have in Venezuela, problems that the government itself has caused: street violence, inflation, shortage of food, shortage of medicines. That's why we need to tell the world that what we have in Venezuela is a dictatorship.
The fact that the nation's electoral council did not approve of this referendum did not stop the thousands of Venezuelans that are gathering in centers just like this one all over the world to show their rejection to Nicolás Maduro's government. Institutions like the Organization of American States support the initiative as a way to make clear to the world how Venezuelans feel about their government.
The Venezuelans definitely want to get out of the situation, the dictatorship and repression they're in. The Venezuelans want to go to the polls. Venezuelans want a legitimate government.
In Washington, Isabel Sanchez. The fresh produce section of the Federal Food Safety Modernization Act is raising concerns for small farmers who are afraid the new rules could bring more harm than good.
It's just not well thought out.
Henry Wright represents the Rhode Island Farm Bureau. He has problems with the fresh produce section of the Federal Food Safety Modernization Act. It's the first major regulation of its kind in 70 years. Signed by President Obama in 2011, it covers every aspect of the food supply chain, from farm to fork.
What prompted Congress to pass that law was a series of very large foodborne outbreaks that had occurred.
The act includes stricter hand-washing policies, limitations in the pick-your-own operations, and extensive water testing.
The rules and regulations also involve around this tremendous amounts of paperwork. The profit margin could be consumed just by the added paperwork.
That's why Wright is meeting with Congress and the Food and Drug Administration.
We're trying to take the corners off this regulations and make it easier to be acceptable.
The FDA says it worked with growers and farmers for 6 years to develop the rules, and it's not stopping now.
we continue to listen, we continue to learn, and we will continue to work with the growing community to get this rule in place and be able to deliver the safest fruits and vegetables.
A heavy lift, Wright says.
I think there's so much pent-up anger over this that they're going to have to do something real major.
The bigger farms must comply with the new regulations by January 2018. Smaller operations will have up to 2 years to adapt. The FDA says the extra time will let it modify some of the rules if necessary to make it acceptable for everyone. In Washington, D.C., Isabel Sanchez, Eyewitness News.